guys, welcome back to the channel, and this is the second video in what will be the build series for the two P-51 Funfighter Mustangs, one of which is from Cambria and one of which is from Cambrian. This build series is looking at what are the differences between the two kits. Is one better than the other? I don't know. Up in the corner here I'll put the video for the first video in this series, where we outlined what I'm actually going to do with this. I'll say it again, full disclosure on this, I purchased both of these kits. There's no sponsorship, there's no affiliation to either manufacturer. The reason I'm doing this is because I want to know what the differences between the two kits are, i.e. what are the manufacturers doing differently. In this particular video, what I want to do is look at the instructions for each to determine which way is going to be best to attack each kit. I know in my head which way I want to do it, but I want to see how the manufacturers recommend doing it, what sort of build sequence they've got. So the two manuals are quite simple manuals. There's nothing, these aren't complex builds, you know, there's nothing too detailed about them. I say that, but I've been building for a few years, flying for a few years. Could a novice builder build one? I suspect so. How easy would they find it? Relatively. Everybody's different. I've seen seasoned builders struggle with some different designs. Anyway, instructions. The first thing I want to do is see what the instructions say. So on the Cambria kit, there's a whole page on important please read. It's basically saying that these aren't toys. BMFA is good source of information here in the UK. They're not suitable for children. The builder fly is responsible for safe building and flying of the model. If in doubt, don't fly. If in doubt, if any doubt about building or flying, please contact your local model flying club. Always a good recommendation. And a contact email address to speak to Cambria about their kits. Please note, the supplied hardware in this kit is not suitable for Reno 300 racing. So that's obviously a racing class which these models can be made to comply with. I'm not planning on racing them, but they are recommending a Y-shaped pushrod to each elevator half. I will most probably do that, simply because I know how fast these can fly, and I'd rather have peace of mind on that, especially as they say it is an option to do that. Again, I'm talking about the Cambria kit just now because that's what it's saying in these instructions. Further items to complete the model, blah blah, that makes sense. Tissue, glass cloth or iron on film. We'll have to see which way we go with that, won't we? Right. There isn't the same sort of, there's not the same sort of information page on the Cambrian kit. It's basically straight into the building notes. So they've both got introductions. Yeah, there's no sort of history of them as such in that one. There's no history in that one. So, right, building notes. Let's see what it says beforehand. Identify all the parts, referring to the plans, study the plan, blah, 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 blah. Large range of adhesives available for building. But some dissolved polystyrene foam, yep, we know that. Recommending epoxy to join the two wing halves. And super glue to build up the construction. The wing panels incorporate washout. This is an essential feature. So there's washout mentioned in the Cambria kit, and that's building instructions. So what do the building notes say on Cambrian. Identify all the parts, study the drawing. There's a large range of adhesives available for building. Well, I must say it's very right. It says these wing panels incorporate washout, and it's an essential feature, and under no circumstances should any attempt be made to remove it. So I'm not going to try, but those two paragraphs are almost identical word for word. So straight away I'm thinking, are the build instructions going to be exactly the same? So comparing the two, on the Cambria, the first line is talking about gluing doublers to fuselage sides, and the first line on the Cambrian is talking about gluing leading edge roots, leading edges and rear spars onto both wing panels. So there's the thing, which part do we do first? Do we look at the wing first, or do we look at the fuselage first? At the moment I don't know. What I probably will do is try and get as much of a production line going as possible. So if we look at the wing and we get to a stage where the wing for each kit has got everything glued onto it that needs glued onto it, we'll put them aside, and then we'll get the fuselage parts out and glue what we can on those. So that is straight away a big difference. It's not major, it's just, even without the instructions, somebody might say, well, I'm not doing the fuselage first, I'm going to do the wing first, because that's what I prefer to do. I don't actually really have a preference as to which I do first. I just like to make most of my time, so when glue is drying on one thing, is there something else I can be gluing up? So everything's gluing at the same time. What else does it say? So it's all very, so on the Cambria, everything's numbered as well. So ply doublers number 9, and fuselage sides number 10. Gluing in the longerons, however you pronounce it. Cut slots in the fuselage side number 10 opposite bottom locating slot and doubler number 9. Form a 6 to fit later. Yeah, there's a good point. It's saying make sure that you actually make a left and a right hand side fuselage. So there we go, straight away they're saying gluing the doublers to the fuselage sides, and then laminate the two parts of the firewall together. 2 drill holes were marked and form a 6. Alright, so glue and laminate, drill 2 holes were marked and form a 6 for the wing fixing downs later. So those holes aren't necessarily cut, but I'm sure I saw them. These might be old instructions, there might have been an update to the kit. So then it's saying about gluing in formers 2, 3, 4 and 6 to the fuselage slots provided in the fuselage, making certain that they're all at right angles to the side. What I'll do is I'll see if I can find the fuselage information in this one. Yeah, fuselage, there we go. Right, so the first thing it's saying in the Cambrian kit with the fuselage is, with the propeller and spinner in place, fit the motor to the moulded motor mount so that the rear of the spinner is 75mm from the rear face of the mount. To be honest, I don't actually know if the engines I've got is actually going to, or are actually going to fit on that mount. Anyway, we'll deal with that when we come to it. Now I'm guessing it's they ask you to do that so that the yeah, so drill the position the assembly on the firewall at the best angle to allow the silencer to clear the fuselage side. Drill the bolt holes in the firewall and fit the motor mount using T-nut supplies, securing the nuts with the dabs of epoxy. Drill a 3mm diameter hole for the throttle cable and remove the mount. So basically what you're doing there with the firewall is you're pre-fitting it. You're making sure all the holes are in the right place. And then remove the engine and motor mount so you can fit the firewall. That hasn't been spoken about in the Cambria kit, but we'll see. When I'm gonna build these, I'm actually gonna follow the instructions to the letter for each kit. So, albeit in the Cambria it says about doing the fuselage first, and in the Cambrian it says about doing the wing first. When I'm doing those relative parts, I'll follow the relative section in the manual. So if we're doing the wings for both kits, I'll follow the wings section, etc. in each kit manual. Hope that makes sense. I'm reading through these, and I'm certainly getting the feeling that the manuals are very much a written description of what's on the plan. It's the plans I know are very detailed. I have seen the plans before. I've actually got somewhere. Where would that be? Not sure. I have got an ME109 plan because I built an ME109, and if you look back, if I remember, I'll put a card up here. I did a build series where I built one for PSS. It's still up there. As yet unflown because I haven't been able to get to a slope site that is suitable for test flying that sort of aeroplane. As and when we do, I'll video it and bring it to you. But I've got the plan for that, and I've built that one already, so I know very roughly how it all goes together. The big difference is that kit was probably 30-year-old kit, so it's very different to these ones. Although the plan is very similar. So, what do we do first? Well, in short, I don't know. But I suspect we'll do a combination of everything. And then I'll split it up into sections in the edit. I'll split up the footage into sections when I edit it together. I suspect we'll probably start with the wings. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I don't know, if I'm honest. I'm trying to think in my head what's going to be the best way to go forwards. Probably the wings. Getting leading edges, trailing edges, etc. glued on. Ailerons cut out, etc. What needs to be done with them. And go from there. As I said, this video was just mainly to be looking at the instructions to get a feel for the kits. They are very much step by step. Glue A to B and B to C, etc. It's telling you what glues to use and where. There might be a few differences to what glues I use compared to the instructions, simply because I prefer to use aliphatic resin in certain places. If I can avoid using super glue, I do. So it might be longer curing times, but I feel as though it gives a better glue joint. So yeah, that was basically what we're doing in this video. If you want to follow along with this build series, if you hit the subscribe button in one of the corners and tick the bell, you get notification when I put a new video up. If you're liking this sort of content, give us a thumbs up. Any comments, stick them below. They all get read and responded to as and when I can. But yeah, hopefully next time we're in the workshop doing these, we'll be getting some wings glued together. But until then, catch you later.